Hello, have you been sowing some carrots over the last few days? You keep looking to see if any of them have germinated and popped their heads through. Do you look most days? Did you look on the back of the packet to see that it takes between 2 and 3 weeks before carrot seeds are likely to germinate? Well, you need to stop looking. You need to get out more. We all need to get out more, don't we? We're under lockdown. But I've been sowing carrot seeds at weekly intervals, and I've got 5 buckets of carrots to show you now. Now, I'm not saying yours should grow at the same rate that mine have grown. They could be much slower, they could be much quicker. It'll depend on how warm it is where you are and how wet it is, a number of factors. But this will give you an heads up of what you can reasonably expect to see after a number of weeks. Okay, let's put the first bucket in the shot. But before I do that, I want to tell you right now, you're going to see a carrot reveal in this video. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but you're going to see one. I'm going to turn out a bucket of carrots in this video. Right, let's have a look at this first bucket. Well, they look quite sparse, don't they? But they've only been in 3 weeks. You can see the seed leaves. I think there might be an odd true leaf about there. And it looks as though probably half the seeds in that bucket have germinated. I'd like to think a few more will pop their heads through, but only time will tell. But that's after 3 weeks in the bucket. These carrots have been in the bucket 4 weeks. And there are a number of best bits when you're growing carrots. One of the best bits is when they start actually coming through and you can see what you're going to get. And this is a sort of a best bit in the growing cycle of carrots. And they look a bit bigger than the last bucket you looked at. And there are a few more true seed leaves there. So they're the carrots at 4 weeks in a bucket. Okay. One of the other best bits when growing carrots is when you harvest them. And I've already told you I'm going to show you a carrot reveal later on in this video, so that's 2 best bits, 1 video. Seeds breaking through, carrots being harvested. Right, what's this one? Well, these seeds have been in this bucket 5 weeks. And I think you can see that they're all getting true carrot leaves now. You can probably tell that they're reasonably well spaced out, and that's because I took my time sowing them. So that's carrots at 5 weeks in the bucket. That's carrots 6 weeks in the bucket, and those carrots are about 4 to 6 inches tall now, and all the true carrot leaves are showing now, and I think that's probably as many as we're going to get in that bucket. I would imagine whatever is going to germinate will have germinated, and now we have to grow these right through until we harvest them later on in the year. Right, let me show you this last bucket. Well, these guys are a bit bigger. These are looking more like it. Those tops are about a foot tall now, and those carrots have been in that bucket 8 weeks. Now, harvesting carrots and growing to maturity, I guess, is weather dependent. If we get good growing weather, whatever that happens to be, it won't be long. If the weather turns against us and we don't get good growing weather, and the wind decides to come back and batter these things down, it'll take a bit longer. So it'll take as long as it takes, but at some point in this growing year, we'll harvest that bucket of carrots. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut you to some video that I shot. I think it was last year, may have been the year before, where I harvested a bucket of carrots. This is another best bit. This is what we're all aiming for. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a good growing year. And at the end of this video, I'm going to cut to some screenshots from carrot reveals from previous years here at Homegrown Veg. It's worth remembering that all these carrot reveals are from 10-inch water buckets. That's equivalent to a small domestic size water bucket. This is definitely worth doing. If you're growing veg at home, make sure you've got carrots on your list. This is Homegrown Veg signing out. Hello. Just over 3 months ago, I sowed some carrots in a converted 10-inch water bucket just like this. This particular water bucket has already delivered this year. It's delivered some early potatoes, and this is the soil. I've simply popped it back in the bucket for storage, and later on in the year, when we start cutting the grass and the autumn leaves fall and I can get some seaweed, we'll put a chop and drop on top of this, and it'll go on a stack of other buckets that I have with used soil in, and we're going to recycle it and use it again next year. We've done it for a number of years now and it works, so that's what we're going to do. So if you're lifting early potatoes, vegetables, put the soil back in the bucket, keeps it tidy, and you can reinvigorate it at the end of the year. Okay, so how did we do that? How did we sow those carrot seeds? Well, let me show you. I simply took a piece of old mesh from the garden and trimmed it so that it sat on top of the soil like that. Carrot seeds are normally sown about 1/4 of an inch down, something like that. So what I did was I put some water in a bottle top and I used a matchstick, a wet matchstick, and I sowed those seeds individually, and I used the grid pattern just to give me some equal spacing. Okay. So when I take the grid pattern off, I can see all the seeds and I can see they're equally spaced. And if they're not equally spaced, I can move them, can't I? And then what do we do? We'll get some more soil and we'll simply do that on top of the carrot seeds. Okay. We level it out, and all the carrot seeds are in at the same depth. The soil in the pot would already be moist. I would have sprayed that with water. This soil would be moist and I would spray it again. And I wouldn't water this pot with a watering can or a hose or anything rough. I'd simply use a spray until those seedlings got a little bit of height about them and some root on them. Otherwise you just wash all the seeds to one side of the pot and wash them out. Okay, now when I bring this pot into the shot and we're going to harvest these carrots today, I hope you'll notice that the carrots are well spaced. The carrot is a carrot called Trevor. It was a pelleted seed, and from recollection Trevor grows to about 4 to 5 inches in length. These modified 10-inch water buckets are deep enough for these carrots. They're not a long carrot. Now the way I normally take these carrots from pots, I usually take the lot as a bunch and lift them all out. But before I put the pot in this barrow to do that, I'll hold it between my feet and I'll pull up on that bunch of carrots and I'll make sure it's loose. Then I'll bring it to the barrow and lift it out. That's the plan of attack. Let's hope it works. This is Trevor, and that's a seagull. Molly's about somewhere. Molly likes carrots, she won't be far away. Yeah, 3 months, and the carrot's called Trevor. I'm hoping you can see that. I mean, this pot is by no stretch of the imagination full. You can see the space around these carrots. So these carrots should have been able to develop. Let me see if I can turn it this way. I'm not too sure if I'll manage this. If I can hold these leaves back. Can you see that? I hope you can. Right, so as I've already said, we've had these out once before, just before I brought it to the barrow, and now I'm going to hopefully lift them all out again. And we'll just see how much soil comes with these carrots. The root ball will give you a good indication of the length of the carrot. Oh! Well, there's quite a bit of soil left in that bucket. That looks to be about 5 or 6 inches, so I don't think the carrots are going to be any longer than that. So I'll just put that down there for the time being. It'll stand. Keep an eye on that, Molly. Okay, we'll bump this soil off and see what we've got. Ho ho ho, come on. That's a carrot. Hold on, Walt. We've had a very dry spring and a dry early summer here in the UK. Well, if you're in the UK, you know. If you're not in the UK, you may know. But that's what we've been growing in. So, oh, well, that's something we didn't expect because we had loads of room in that pot, so we didn't expect any carrots that didn't quite, that sort of come misshapen like this, that had a few legs on, but put those to one side. We're still going to eat them, by the way. How's that looking? Do you know what I think I'll do? I think I'll go indoors, I'll run these over the tap, I'll bring them back out and we'll put them back in this barrel and let you have a look. They'll get dirty again, but they'll wash again, won't they? Right, come on, Moll, we'll go and give those a wash and we'll pop them back in this barrel. We've changed our mind, haven't we, Moll? Yeah? There's a new game plan. What we're going to do is, the soil that didn't come out of this bucket is going into this barrel now, like that. Actually, they're the carrot roots. The carrot roots actually did make the bottom of the pot, as you can see. All the roots got to the bottom, but the carrots didn't get there, did they? These are the hair-like roots that come off the bottom of the carrot. So yeah, they got to the bottom of the pot. What I'm going to do is just break it up, and that's because we want to retain those roots in this soil, because that will make good food for anything that lives in the soil as it decomposes and breaks down. And what we're going to do, we're going to pop this back in that bucket. And that bucket is going to go on the rack with the other buckets. Okay. And it's going to overwinter with some chop and drop on it. Excuse me, Paul. That should be just enough, shouldn't it? Just enough. There's a further change to the plans. We're not going to wash the carrots indoors. We're going to wash them out here. Just give me a minute. This is a cut flower water bucket. It's still a cut flower water bucket because I haven't drilled any holes in the bottom of it, so it's holding water. And the water in this bucket is rainwater. And yesterday we had a lot of rain through the day. It was persistent, it wasn't heavy, but it rained all day. I've got about 10 of these guys filled with rainwater. So we're washing these carrots up in rainwater, and this water will be used to water my potatoes and onions and anything else that I've got growing in the garden. It won't be wasted. So I thought that was a better bet than taking them indoors and running off some clean drinking water to wash the carrots. I thought I'd wash them off in this, and then we'll recycle the water as well, won't we? We'll put it on the garden. Right, let's give these guys a go. Want to have a look at them? Okay, let's do this. How's that looking? How's that looking? That's a good bunch of carrots, isn't it? I mean, if you look at that, the size of that 10-inch water bucket, we've got all those carrots out of there. That's a good delivery, isn't it? Unfortunately, there's no small ones to give to Molly. There's none for you, Moll. No small ones, but hold on. What about these guys? They've got fingers and toes. Ha ha ha! They've got fingers and toes. Yes, they have. I think this is probably Molly's favourite veg carrot, actually. Here you are, sweetheart. Is that nice? Right, you want one more? Right, one more. Okay. And then we'll wind this video up. So if I just pop this over here and we'll go through this story again. These carrots grown in this converted water bucket, my own soil. I've used this year on year. The soil's gone back in there. The carrots are going in the kitchen. That soil will be reinvigorated later on in the year. We'll put some chop and drop on that and it'll overwinter. It'll go through autumn and winter and until the spring of next year when we start all over again. Hey, how good is that? How good is that, Moll? Yeah, you enjoyed them, sweetheart, didn't you? Okay. So from me and Molly here at Homegrown Veg, this is Homegrown Veg, signing out. Come on, Moll, we'll have a brew. Come on, we'll go and have a cup of tea. You've had your carrot, I want a cup of tea. Come on.